Okay, I'm starting the live stream a little bit late. I was eating dinner with my grandma. So just wanted to recap like yesterday's live stream. I guess YouTube wasn't showing me any of the comments, and some people were saying that they were actually commenting on the live stream, but the whole time I didn't see any comments, and I was just like, what's going on? So it was kind of disappointing. So hopefully tonight, if I don't see any comments in like okay, so somebody said yo. So the comments are working tonight, and I just wanted to do kind of a video. Last night I was going to do one on 3000 GT. I might do it on my projects and mostly the 240Z and the 3000 GT. So cool. I'm glad the comments are working. I started. So today I brought in the 240Z. Trevor is going to be gone for a few days, so I thought I might as well do a couple things to it that I have been wanting to get done to it. One of those things is kind of messing with the whole 370Z transmission. It's not in here right now, but I want to see how it actually fits and all that stuff. So somebody asked what I'm doing with the 240. What I'm doing with it is I want to get it running and driving, but the plan is I have pretty much front and rear subframes designed in SolidWorks. I need to have all the parts made for them. I'm going to do pretty much in the rear subframe. You can see how old and the design of the old 240Z rear subframe is very, I don't know how to explain it. It's just not very good. So, and you can't really adjust camber that much. A couple companies make adjustable lower control arms and all that stuff. But what I did was I used all the stock pickup points and actually made it so not a 240. Fix the LS, please. So somebody, Adrian, thanks for the $10. Thanks for the $10, man. I'm gonna fix the LS. So the issue with the LS 240SX is that there's like I got the car from Oklahoma, and there's a title issue. So supposedly it has like a salvage title, but Oklahoma salvage titles are supposed to be red. It's a green title, so I think it's just I bought it from a salvage yard, and I think Carfax. Usually when cars go to salvage yards, they flag the titles as salvage even though they're not. So what I'm going to do is I need to go to Oklahoma to see my grandpa to get some cars for my dad relatively soon. And I'm going to get the title in my name in Oklahoma and then come back to Colorado, put the title in my name. That's the only reason I haven't worked on it. All it really needs is engine mounts and some fuel system stuff, and it's pretty much ready to go. I think after that and a little bit of wiring, I could actually drive it. It'd probably take me a good couple days after I got the title situated to take it on its first drive. So let's see. I don't want to file for abandoned title. I actually have the title, so it's just like a title issue with it being flagged as salvage in Colorado. But back to the 240Z. So I pretty much have all the components for the rear subframe designed. It's instead of these being adjustable, it pretty much kind of mimics a 370Z/240SX rear subframe. So the knuckles have the pickup points for the coilovers, and then it has upper arms, traction rods, and all that good stuff. In the front, I kind of got an idea from the Supra. So most right now I haven't done anything with it. It's not on, but I have it designed in SolidWorks. So you can see how the 240Z has no camber adjustment in the front, and most people cut the top of the shock tower out and weld in like a little adjustable bracket. I don't want to do that. So the Supra, pretty much all it does is the subframe comes up and there's a bolt, like a hole right here. I could probably walk over to the Supra, and just like a Lexus, and there's an upper control arm that's adjustable. So I'm probably gonna do that. I could show you the Supra, how it kind of works. And if Trevor never got the Supra, I would have never even known. I would have just done some, I don't know, some normal stuff and just probably been mad about it. Let's see. Let me get a light. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool when you work in like a salvage yard or go to a like U-Pull or something and get to see all the different ways like car manufacturers design stuff and kind of incorporate that into one car. And let me grab this light so we can see under there. But yeah, I mean, the Z is going to have quite a few different like car manufacturers like combined designs in it, just to make it a little bit more usable. Let's turn this on. Okay, so you can see all it really does is the lower subframe comes up and there's an actual upper control arm. So there's a lower control arm and an upper one, and you just make that adjustable. Then there's no reason to actually have to, well, on this you don't do it, but the Supra is the same thing. It just has a coilover, and then you just get adjustable arms from like IKEA or something. And then yeah, it'll make it a lot better because it won't have any issues with, I don't know, I just don't want to cut this car up, even though I'm going to cut it up for like flares. There is a few little issues on here that, you know, it's pretty much a rust. It's pretty close to a rust-free, as close to a rust-free car as you can get, or that you probably be able to find. So I'll show you a few spots. So right here, there's rust, and that's pretty much normal, but I'm going to put the 4-inch wide fender flares in the rear, so I'm going to have to cut that out anyway. And right here, there's a little bit of rust, but you can see how that tow hook's kind of bent. So the last time I had it moved, the tow company kind of cinched it down too hard, so I'm going to have to bang that out right there and straighten it out because they kind of tweaked it. But I'll just have to replace this whole this, I think it's called a roll pan on the back, which isn't that big of a deal. And then so there's no, I don't think there's any rust on this side at all. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this side is like 100% rust free. So even under here, you can see there's like surface rust, but there's no actual holes. The one good thing about this car is the frame rails are like 100% rust free, which is, I thought was pretty amazing. So you can see those frame rails are almost 100% rust free, except for this little spot right there. And then on this side, there's a little spot of rust. But I think that what caused this was like bent up. I think they like ran a log or something over, and then there's a little bit of rust right here, but it's not like through rust. And the same thing right there on the fender. So I'm actually pretty excited to have some decent fenders and not that much rust. So let's put the light away, see what you guys are saying. Okay, so somebody asked what the plans are with the Z and the RB240Z. So right here is the RB30 block. It's a S2 RB30, so it has all the, you know, the good stuff. I plan on kind of setting it in there just to see how it like kind of dimension wise in the engine bay. And I already have the engine mounts designed. I just am going to 3D print them. I might 3D print one tonight and one tomorrow morning. Hopefully everything works out and I could use them to set the engine kind of in the car. I'll have it supported with like the hoist, and then I could kind of situate the tranny in there, so it doesn't actually have any weight on the engine mounts, and make sure they're going to be at the right angle, because RBs are 100% different than JZs, because they need to be tilted at a 10-degree angle for the oil to drain out of the head. Unlike JZs have oil drains on both sides, and they pretty much sit in the car perfectly flat like that. But let's see. So somebody said put the 2J in the blue S13 coupe. So as the days go on, that is pretty much the plan. I need to get some mounts and get some other parts and all that good stuff, but it is I am pretty sure I'm going to put this in the blue 240 coupe that I've had forever, after me and Trevor do some stuff. So we're going to send both our heads off to get machined, and I'll do new head gasket. I've said this before: new head gasket, timing belt, cam gears, water pump, all that. Pretty much preventative maintenance slash, upgraded head gasket and stuff like that. I may upgrade the oil pan. I've kind of been trying to talk to some dry sump companies, but I'm probably just gonna have to end up actually buying the dry sump, because I don't really have a following. So and I don't have a problem buying stuff that's good quality. But let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, so somebody said they love their SC300. So if everybody doesn't know, I sold my SC300. The Poor Man Supra is gone. I may end up finding a hardtop. I really want a hardtop, but it was just that SC. I just didn't want to. The 1J in it was so good, I didn't want to pull it, but I didn't want to manual swap it. So I'm probably going to end up finding a hardtop, put another 2J, maybe probably a VVTi in it, and then and then go from there. 2J with a CD09. But I want to get some other projects done first. My house project is coming to an end. I mean, I am so close to having it done. I haven't done a video in a week. I've done like kind of videos, but some live streams. But the house is I have some lights to wire. I have a little bit of painting left to do, and once I get all the hardware, the door handles and stuff, I can put all the doors back in, and it'll be done. It'll be 100% done. Pretty much the whole house is cleaned out, and the only thing that's not cleaned out is a little section in the basement. But I'm pretty excited that it's where it's at. So that's got me pretty excited as well. Somebody asked if I sell any of my designed parts. Right now, I am in the struggle of finding a good machine shop to machine the stuff I designed for the JZ, the 2J, that oil filter block. Right now, I haven't been able to find a good machine shop. It seems like all the machine shops in the US, well, I haven't contacted all of them, obviously, but all the ones I've contacted, they and I've been trying to get those 3000 GT solid subframe bushings machined, but it seems like they're doing aerospace stuff. I even talked to Dell at Offbeat Garage about this today, and he said the same thing. It seems like they're either doing like aerospace stuff or like stuff for companies where they want to charge you so much for little parts that it's almost so hard to find a good machine shop that'll charge you a decent price, other than the guy up front he didn't charge me, but he quoted me like $500 for that oil block, the bolt, and a 10 an to 16 M16 fitting, and it's just kind of ridiculous that the machine shops are like that. I mean, for something that small, I don't ever think it should cost more. I'd pay $100 for each one, and then mark them up like $50 and make $50. But it's almost, I don't know, if I can't find somebody to make them for a reasonable price, I'll probably just have to make like myself a Trevor one and then figure it out. I have a friend hopefully making me the bushings for the 3000 GT. She's going to maybe send them to me. I don't know. I have to. I need to call her and ask her what's going on with that. But I sent her the files the beginning of the week, and I mean, she's pretty much just helping me out. She's a really good machinist and everything. But you know, let's see what's going on here. Somebody asked if I sketch up some good stuff. I pretty much didn't really sketch anything up. I 3D scanned a lot of the 240Z and the 240SX, and then I just designed parts off of those 3D scanned files. So most people, so let's get into kind of designing stuff. Most people think 3D scanning is just you go scan something and then you could use that as a part or something to design. You could kind of use the file as a way to design off of. The newer software with like Creaform and stuff actually kind of makes the part usable, but if you, like when I was using the FerroArm, you have to go in after you scan it, you have a point cloud, and then you have to edit that mesh so it turns that mesh into an actual editable part in SolidWorks. So it's like double, it's kind of like double like designing stuff, but you kind of just want to smooth the mesh out. Once you scan it, you kind of know what's going on. So with the 240Z stuff, I did front subframe, all the rear suspension, knuckles, pretty much the whole front, core support, all the way up to the shock towers, stuff like that. And then I kind of use some of the dimensions from the FSM to kind of combine that. I need like one dimension from the rear because the FSM kind of like back here, it's so hard to tell. It almost looks like the height of that right there is the same as that, but I'm gonna bust out a caliper and actually figure that out. That's one of the reasons I have it on the lift. I've been kind of trying to figure that dimension out for a little bit, but it's really wasn't that important, so I've been putting it off. So let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, Chris, yeah, thanks a lot. I did. So Chris sent me a link. I did get the link. I just haven't had time to like set my computer to download it, since it probably will take a night to download. So I'd have to. The only place that there is internet is at the shop, so I'll just have to leave my computer overnight, download the link. I appreciate that a lot. That is you're a homie. So let's see. What else is everybody saying? Okay, somebody asked me what color and what wheels I plan on doing on the 240Z. So I know this is probably, I don't know. There's so many Z's that are already done like that. I'm probably gonna get flamed, but I want to do it. So I have the little thing that Trevor had painted. Let me find it. It's I just saw it somewhere around here. Let me find it. Where did it go? Where is it? They were just here. I mean, they couldn't have gone too far. I have no clue where they went. Unless it like fell off. Maybe it was on the back of the car, and when I backed it out, it blew off or something. Oh man. Yeah, it must. I don't know what happened to it. So that blue that Trevor, the other color Trevor was going to paint the Supra, other than the red, the Toyota blue on like the Lexuses, I want to paint this car that color. Um, it's either so the options are that color or Lotus has a color. It's called a Lotus Royal Purple. It's a really sharp purple. It's like not too like light, but it's not too dark. I mean, it looks really, really like it pops. I think it would look really good on this car. Um, but I am more biased towards the blue. I've always like pictured this car in like that blue, and then with the what are they the I'd have to look up what the actual wheels are called, but I want to do 18 by 12s all the way around on this thing, and you know they're the Wananabe RS6s, I think, or RS9s, something like that. And yeah, 18 by 12 all the way around, or maybe 18 by 11 all the way around, something like that. And then have the RB around 750, 800 horsepower. I think that's very manageable out of an RB, especially with the RB30s. There's a guy in Australia that pretty much has ran 2,000 horsepower on his drag car on an RB30 for like 3 years straight. So they have no problem stock block handling a lot of power. 2Js also handle a lot of power, but it seems like people get them over 1,500 horsepower and they split down the center. I've heard that quite a bit. So, I mean, I do love the sound of RBs. I like a lot of stuff about the RBs. The only reason I did get a 2J was because it was so cheap. And then, you know, it just kind of conveniently worked out that I was going to end up putting it in the Blue 240. After I pulled out of the container, I started looking at it. I was like, oh man, the 2J in it would be awesome. So let's see. What are you guys saying? Somebody said hi. Hello. OCD works. Sup. Are you opposed? Somebody asked if send the designs to China and buy the parts off of Alibaba. I don't know. It just depends on the price. Somebody asked about sending them the files because I know some people. I mean, it really depends on what the price would be at the end, because I wouldn't want to. I just don't feel that an oil block should cost over like $100 to machine. So I mean, the material, the chunk of aluminum's like $25. So somebody asked where Trev's at. It's a secret. He's on a vacation that involves cars. Now, somebody asked if I have talked to any of the YouTube people that machine stuff, and I really haven't. I didn't even really think about that. But I don't know. I don't know how that really worked out. I don't know if they just. I don't know. I'd probably have to look up some of their channels and see what kind of work they do and what kind of projects they do. I'm not exactly sure how a machinist YouTube channel would kind of work unless they have a bunch of their own projects. So somebody said, yes, anything purple. The only issue with the Z being purple is either the 95 3000 GT, or if I end up finding a 99 VR4. If anybody knows of like a Shell or something, or one that's like cheap, I'd rather have a 99 VR4, and then I could sell this one, But before I sold it, I'd swap wheels and coils, and I'd keep that wing. So I mean, I like it, but I really like how the 99s look, and I don't know if I'd want two purple cars because the plan with that, like, either one I get, I want to definitely paint it that Lotus Royal purple. So I think a VR4 in that color would, just because they're so curvy already. They're almost as curvy. I'd say a VR4 is almost as curvy as a Supra, maybe a little bit curvier in the back. I mean, the Supra has a little bit wider fenders in the back, but I feel like they're both like really like curvy, and those kind of colors really pop on curvy cars. On an S13, I don't think it would really work out that well because they're not as curvy. They're more of like a brick. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, somebody. I also told. So Trevor was like contemplating changing the Supra color, and then he was going to steal my Lotus Royal purple color that I want to paint the VR4. And I told him, don't do that. I was like, paint that Tecna, what is it, Tecna Ultraviolet or whatever. But I think he's gonna leave it red, so that's good because I like the red on the Supra. But that color, I did look it up, and that color would look cool on a Z. I mean, it'll look cool on a lot of cars, but I just don't know if it's. I've seen that color in person, and I don't know if it's a color that I would. I don't know if I'd like it. It'd probably be cool if I. I don't know. I don't know. It's painting stuff is so like picking a color is so like hard. There's so many cool colors. Yeah, somebody said if once I start the S13 2J build, my channel will blow up. I'm not sure, but I feel like either way, the 240Z. I mean, everybody loves 240Zs. I mean, if so, I'd say if me and Trevor, if the 240Z, my 240Z, and Trevor's Supra was done at SEMA, the 240Z would have more people around it than the Supra because I think more people have roots with 240Zs because they're like such, like Toyota never really had a like a following kind of until I'd say until the 86 Corolla. And then they have the Supra, but the 240Z, like in like this like 69, people were starting to race them and stuff. So I mean, more people kind of recognize a 240Z and are kind of pulled towards it than they are Supra. The same thing with the R34. R34 next to Supra, more people are going to be checking out the R34. It's just a fact of life. I guess you guys can debate me on that one, but that's how I feel, and that's kind of what I've seen when I've seen R34s and 240Zs around Supras, and lots of other cars, RX-7s and stuff like that. But let's see. So somebody said, why don't I sell everything and get an R34? One reason I don't want an R34 is because I already have, here, I'm going to open something really quick. I'm going to open my bay. Yeah. So one reason I don't want an R34, maybe down the road when, if I ever, I don't know, maybe someday, but I just don't want to deal with all the legal stuff with the R34. They're cool cars and everything, but just I don't know. It's hard to explain, but just like the Supra, I pretty much compared when we went and picked up that black Supra in Texas, and I drove it back to Mustang's house. I compared driving, like it was quicker, but it's pretty much like a fast Camry. It's or like a 240. I mean, they're just the same. They're literally a 90s car that is overhyped because of like the Fast and the Furious, and they rattle. You could like they just do like all the same stuff as a 240 or like a like like all the other crap. They just have like people that just kind of made them into like this huge thing, and they actually had a really nice engine in them. Well, some of them had a really nice engine. Some of them were twin turbo and 6 speed. I mean, if S13s came with an SR in the US, I mean, they'd have just as large of a following as Supras. I mean, they just got like the short hand of the stick and had a K in them. But I mean, just my 2 cents. Somebody asked if I'm gonna do twin turbo or single. That is, twin turbo or single is kind of up in the air. If I do single on the RB, it's going to be the same turbo that's on the JZ, a 9180 EFR. If I do twins, it's going to be, I think they're 5168 EFRs, and I'll do twins of those. Sooner or later, Borg Warner, when I was at SEMA, has this electric 24 volt turbocharger to assist up to 5 pounds of boost. So I think it's 5 to 7 pounds of boost. So I'd run the big single with one of those or the twins with one of those. But so far they haven't released it yet, and they're like making it for OEMs. So they should be coming out, and I don't see them taking that long to be on cars in the junkyard or on like Copart, where I could like buy one and like program an Arduino to control it. But then I don't really have to worry about that. His Trefa Copart. So somebody said they can't see why RBs sound better than 2Js. I'll tell you the one reason RBs sound better than 2Js. The one and only reason is because they have ITBs. If you put ITBs on a 2J, it'd probably sound very similar to an RB. And it's a 3-liter compared to a 2.6, but I mean, even 30s sound close, like very similar to a 26, but it's the ITBs. When you put a Q45 throttle body on an RB, it kind of, I don't know, they kind of sound a little closer to 2Js than RBs. Somebody said their neighbor has a 99. See if your neighbor wants to sell it for a reasonable price. That wouldn't be bad. And I'd rather have it be a manual. Yeah, I plan on getting the my old 240 going. I just need to find like a whole front cut is what I'm looking for to fix it. Silver with a 2-tone blue. I wonder how that would work out. Battleship gray. I think a lot of people said gray in the comments of that video. Techno violet. Yeah, that's I definitely like that color. I mean, yeah, I mean, we just need to paint this in a good booth that's not really, I don't know, not dusty and stuff. Somebody asked if I ever hang out on, if we ever hang out on Northern. It has definitely been a long time since we have like gone and hung out on Northern. I think the last time I hung out was when I had the my white convertible with an SR in it, and that was a long time ago. Maybe when the VR4 is done, I'll cruise up and down, but it's just kind of so sketchy because all the cops get, I don't know, they get so sad like when you just cruise Northern. And yeah, I don't know. Someone said they just followed me on Instagram. Thanks. somebody asked how many project cars I have. So let me think. I, don't- should I include cars that aren't really projects that I just have? Because I have a couple, I think I have two 240s that really are just kind of there just in case. I don't know. Clarify that question. Somebody asked if I'm officially moving back to the shop. I'm not moving back to the shop. Trevor's not going to be here for the weekend, so I am um, using the shop because he's doing other things, and you know I just want to kind of mess with the Z a little bit. But by the time he gets back, I'll take the Z back to the container and not really have to um, worry about it. I mean, might as well get something done because I really have been working pretty hard on my house, not really doing much car stuff, and I really would like to kind of make a little bit of progress on the Z. I think it would be, um, you know, pretty tight. Ooh. I mean, I did an Instagram post when this thing was just like the red with like the back was painted and Trevor had the bumper on, and it looked like a pumpkin. It kind of looks like a face. Those are like the eyes, and the little license plate things like the mouth. It's like, no. That's the face a Supra makes when an R34 passes it. Right there. This face right here. I think I told Trevor that I compared the Supra to a Camry. Somebody asked about a CA18 DET. I don't know of any for sale, but it takes a lot of money to actually make good power on those. So they might be cheaper than SRs, but I'd save up the extra money and get an SR. Somebody asked about a cheap CD09 trans. You can't find one under $900. You can find them for $500 all day on LKQ, or just go to like Copart.com, and they're pretty much just like a million of them, like a million pages of just like CD09s, and they're cheap. Like I don't know why people ask so much for them. They made like hundreds of thousands of 370Zs with 6 speeds in them. So I mean, they shouldn't be. They're not like a Supra tranny. They didn't make like a couple like thousand of them. They made like hundreds of thousands of them. So yeah, don't fall for their like $1,000 like $2,000 trannies, which people are trying to blow them up to. Yeah, if you could, the guy that's talking about his neighbor's 99 VR4, yeah, just DM me on Instagram and let me know what he says. If it's like, if he gives you a price, just let me know and maybe I'll talk to him or something. That'd be cool to actually get a 99 and just swap some of my stuff into it. A little bit of crank walk, that's fine. I'll just put a different engine into it. I mean, somebody asks, what's the first car I reached speeds of over 100 miles an hour? I had a 93 Suzuki Swift with a 3-cylinder. I mean, downhill, it would do like over 100. But I pegged a smart car all the way to New Mexico for No Coast one time. And those things do 93 miles an hour down a hill with like a backwind with you like pinned. So, I couldn't believe I actually fit in the car. Probably the worst experience of my life, driving that long in that small of a car. But it kind of was actually kind of funny. and stuff like that. But so all of my cars. So let's start off with the cars here. So I have the 240Z. I have the blue coupe, so that's 2. I have the LS coupe, that's 3. I have the VK56 convertible, that's in my semi trailer, and I have another convertible shell just as a backup. Um, let's see, I have, so that's 5. I have the Audi. I have the two 3000 GTs. I have three 3000 GTs. I have the one like shell one that's still like parts. I have the G35 in the Audi, I think. Oh, my truck, the Juke. Damn. I think that's it. I think that's all. 13 cars, I think, is what I have. I may be missing a few, but I think it's 13. Build Trevor Supra. I think Trevor's doing a good job. I mean, he's I don't know, with like all the stuff he has going on, he definitely has gotten quite a bit done. I mean, he does like do stuff like the Mustang and the Saab and stuff like that, but in these bikes. But I mean, you have to break it up. Like, I wouldn't want to just come in here and work on this thing for like 3 months straight. I'd just be burnt out, and then I wouldn't want to drive it. I'd probably just want to like sell it and just be like, screw this car. Like, just if he came in and like did a panel a day, I think it'd break it up a lot easier, because you work on it for like an hour instead of like you work on it all night. So it kind of breaks it up. I mean, you don't want to burn yourself out on a car. I almost did that with the VR4, but that was like a huge project. I pretty much like stripped 3 cars to make one good one. So yeah, you definitely don't want to burn your car out, or yeah, you don't want to burn your car out, but you don't want to like burn yourself out on your car, because then you just kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of ruins it. Where's the circle track car? I think it's at Aaron's parents' house. Um, I mean, somebody said they want a 2J, their 91S10. If you just use automatic tranny and stuff like that, I mean, you could probably get it done for under $4,000 and just make like a custom drive shaft. But oh yeah, I have the Excursion too. Did I include my truck? I don't know. Yeah, for the blue car with the 2J, I'll probably be like 5 to 700. For the Z, I want to do at least 800 to 1,000. But I mean, 1,000's like just one of those numbers. Like, driving 1,000 horsepower, driving a 400 horsepower car on like the streets is fun and stuff, and can get out of hand really quick. But like 1,000 horsepower is just like crazy numbers for the street. And I want this to be a street car and stuff like that. So I don't want it. I don't know, like 800 to 850 would probably be a good like street car number. But I have been driving pretty fast cars for quite a long time. So I don't know. I want it to actually drive really well too. I don't want it to be like my Trevor's drift car. After we had it aligned, it like did the airstrip attack. It was very like straight, but before that, it was really squirrely and kind of like, I don't know. You got like that adrenaline rush because you felt like you were gonna die driving it, but you weren't going that fast. Like you could barely get it out. Like you could barely get it into fifth gear without it like wanting to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But after it was aligned, it kind of like settled down. Um, so somebody said I don't know what engine's going in the 240Z. It's definitely going to be an RB30. Uh, and then later on, I have an RB designed in SolidWorks that I want to have machined. It's going to be like an RB like 34, 36. But I mean, that's later down the road. I just want to get this thing running. If I could find somebody that can machine it, like I'll do it. But right now, I just want to get the iron block in there and stuff like that. I have all kinds of crazy stuff designed, but I'm not going to really get into it too heavily. Just, I mean, the RB would just be fine how it is. I want to dry sump it. And CD09, stock pistons, stock rods will be fine, and stock crankshaft will be fine, and the head with 272 cams, stuff like that. It won't be that like crazy of a build, but later on I want to definitely get the larger RB that I designed in it, and has like all the integrated stuff into the block, and the block's a lot more rigid and stuff like that, and it's also aluminum, so it's not as heavy. If I was going to put a sequential in one of my cars, which one would it be? I'd probably put a sequential in the 240Z. I think that'd be pretty sick. Or maybe I don't. They probably don't make them for the. I put one in my truck. How about that? Make a diesel, make a big power diesel truck with a sequential. So somebody asked if I had the stock engine for the 240Z. I did, but I left it over at my ex-girlfriend's parents' house, and her dad scrapped it, which I kind of told him to, and the engine was, I don't know, it was doing weird stuff. It kept popping like this rocker arm, even though it was like set up right. I don't know what its deal was, but when I got this car, I got it from this old lady. It was in her like barn, and then like it didn't run. I got it to run, and then like literally the clutch. I pulled the tranny off and pulled the clutch. The clutch was like rusted. The pressure plate was like rusted to the clutch, and it would not like disengage. So you could literally pull start it with a truck, and then like you couldn't disengage the clutch, but you could manually shift the tranny through the gears by like letting off the gas. But if you like stopped, it died because the clutch was like directly like I don't know, it was weird. It was like rusted to the pressure plate. So, but she said the car sat for like 10 to 20 years before I bought it. So yeah, I probably should come over here and do some stuff to the Z, but I this is on my phone and stuff. Now I'm about to follow this wheelchair. So I did hot tank this block, and the only way you can really tell RB30s from 26s is so this little thing over here. Well, it says RB30 on it, but if you're just like looking at one, this water passage on an RB26 just goes pretty much directly straight, and on RB30 the block height is actually that much taller right there, so it has to come up, and so there is no air pockets at the top, is why they do that. But yeah, I just want to kind of set it in there almost. I like I said before, I'll 3D print the engine mounts that I designed and bolted in and all that good stuff. So yeah. And then I think these wheels, I don't know, I think these wheels are SSRs or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what they are. I'm pretty sure they're SSRs. I can't tell. I thought they said on like the outside of them, but I guess not. They look like a Z center cap. It's all like old. I thought these had like a mark on them that said like they're SSRs or something like that. Like a tag or something. Yeah, look at these old Z center caps. They're all like old and they look like they melted one time or something. Oh, and another thing, I need to fill this light in back here because I'm pretty much gonna make it like a pretty much like a Fairlady. I have the rear tail lights, the NOS Euro tail lights. I'm gonna put in after it's done. But on the Fairladies in Japan, they don't have this rear marker light. Somebody asked what diff I'm going to use. I'm going to use a R200 out of a 240SX, and then I could use an LSD. But I definitely am not going to use this R180 that's in here, or pretty much any of the suspension components, struts, coils, any of that stuff. That's all going to go. The hubs are going to go. It's all going to be it's not going to be that techno toy or any of that other stuff. I mean, I dislike. It looks really cool because it's all machined and stuff and all shiny, but it's still like an old like kind of suspension design that. I mean, there's been so many improvements over the years. Why just modify this suspension when you could just put in like a whole. Like design a whole subframe that just bolts in. I mean, I don't know why people just keep like redesigning the same suspension components and stuff. Like they still use like these lower control arm kind of design, but it's like a big like H that's all like billet aluminum and stuff. I mean, the stock control arms you could just weld in little adjustable arms and stuff, but I don't know. One thing I do like about this car is that the spare tire hole is not rusty at all. Let's see. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, this is one. It's going to be a pretty intensive project. Other than like, the great thing about the Z is the literally the quarter panel right there. So you can kind of, I don't know, it probably won't matter. So the quarter panel right here is like both of the quarter panels on the Supra. So the body work on a Z is so easy. The door, like one door on the Supra, is pretty much like a door and a half on a Z. Can I ramble as long as Trevor? I don't know. Do you consider this rambling? I kind of just considered this like a show and tell almost, like we're in like middle school, something like that. What do you think? But I'm kind of afraid to do like a poll on a color for this car because what if like I don't know. I think all the colors would be cool, but I mean I'd just be afraid. Somebody last time noticed my right hand drive dash, but I'm not going to use it. Chris Forsberg has a Chris Forsberg has a 280Z, not a 240. It's just it's just pretty much converted to a 240, and yeah. Then I have this. This is the Audi engine that I'm fixing, but it just needs the heads decked and one of them redone. I need to actually figure out like a good machine shop in town or like in Springs or something to take the heads to, so I can get them finished. An electric swap. Oh no. So I don't really want to say my idea. Well, actually, it's not really an idea. It's kind of what's going to be happening. So this car is going to be all-wheel drive. So somebody said something about electric swap. So this car will be all-wheel drive. The rear wheels will be powered by a CD09 and an RB30. The front wheels, they make these cool things that are wireless hub-mounted um, motors that you can put on cars. There's a company that makes them. They actually, you put like the cables go, you mount them kind of in line, and they wirelessly transmit the power from the batteries to the motors, and like RB. So how a like R34, R33, R34, the front like a Tesla works, and how the front wheels kind of it's not all-wheel drive all the time. It's rear-wheel drive 100% of the time until the rear wheels start to slip, and Altezza sees that the rear wheels are slipping. It then engages. I don't have it in here. I had it in here a couple of days ago, but it engages this clutch pack in the transfer case. Um, there's like a big chain in the transfer case to transfer power from the the main drive shaft to the front drive shaft, and there's a clutch pack, and then it just hydraulically engages that clutch pack, and that's how the front wheels spin. So the only time you'd ever need the electric, well, the only time I'd ever need the electric motors to be working would be when the rear wheels were slipping. So I would just need to, um, I wouldn't need a very big battery pack, and that has like rapid recovery. So I don't think I would need maybe like 200 pounds worth of batteries, lithium batteries, maybe less. I don't know. Lithium's pretty powerful, and the batteries don't weigh very much. So I kind of been waiting to talk to the company because I want to just get the car driving, and those just pretty much bolt on over your um, they pretty much bolt over your like brakes, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. It like recovers power, so when you let off, it'll slow the car down kind of. But there's also a lot of programming and stuff like that that I'd have to do to support that system. And I really just want to get this thing driving, and I could add that stuff afterwards. That the electric turbocharger and stuff like that to just kind of make it more modern. So I mean that's definitely that would be a really cool thing. I also a long time ago I messaged Koenigsegg about doing an RB head, and they literally never got back to me. But I thought like I told them literally I'd give them 10 to 15 grand to do me a valveless or not a valveless but a camless like RB26 head. I thought that would have been like quite a bit of money to get it done because it's just like one head, and that would have been super awesome. Because the one thing I do hate about aftermarket performance engines and stuff is like the idle. You can literally like to get like the performance like up to 800 horsepower and past that, you have to have like really nasty cams, and you have to degree the cams and everything. And with like the camless technology, you literally can have like the smoothest idle, and you can literally like have a car you can like just like grocery getter. But then like you could have it so like when you want to be in it, it literally has like the meanest like profile you can literally ever think about. And it's just like, I mean, technology is getting to the point where I don't know, like cars are like getting so like fine tuned almost that you won't have to even like you'll just literally have to like, oh, I want to paint it a different color, or I want to like put wheels on it. There, I mean, we're gonna get into like in the next like 10 to 20 years, we're gonna get into like look at the Mustang. I mean, all Trevor really did, the Mustang is a key example. Trevor literally put coils on it. If it was a manual, it would it could be 100% a four-cylinder boosted drift car with a manual tranny with coilovers. The body is pretty much where you want it to be. I mean, all the cooling and the like electronics, and it has all kinds of crazy stuff that you can do with it. But I mean, that's where we're going. And to be able to like kind of make like that Mustang over there, kind of make this into not a Mustang, but into something comparable to like comparable technology wise. So I don't know what does everybody think of the whole 240Z project, and what the proposed plans, and I don't know exactly where it's gonna. I don't know how long it's gonna take to get there, but I'm not putting any like dates or anything like that on it. But I mean, what do you guys think about like the Z and the proposed like RB30, CEO9, and probably a a nice Toyota blue candy paint job, and some decent wheels, and not that super huge monster truck fender gap. Yeah, I kind of hope my channel grows too. I mean, I'm definitely I'm definitely happy that I'm getting closer to 10,000 subscribers. I mean, a year ago, I would never have thought that. I mean, just posting videos about projects and stuff, I would never have thought that I would have. I mean, even like 7,000 people follow me. I mean, I don't have 7,000 people actively watching my videos. I mean, there's like 500 to like 1,500 people that actually um, watch a lot of videos and stuff like that. But I mean, it's pretty cool that people are like following me and like kind of like the builds that I'm starting and doing and stuff that I'm doing. I mean, some people don't like house projects, but other people like car projects, or some people like both. But it's kind of cool that you guys stick around and kind of watch the channel, and hopefully it grows. And I can do more. The larger it grows, the cooler projects I can do. Like I can finish the Z and stuff like that, and the 240, and you guys will kind of be along for the ride. And I mean, Trevor's planning on having the Supra done, and hopefully we can get it at SEMA this year, and all kinds of different stuff. So, I mean, I do help Trevor out a lot, and I'm trying to get my house sold, and I want to get like a house with an actual shop, so I can kind of have like my own uh, my my own space to not have to like clutter up or like kind of like jockey around like me and Trevor doing stuff. So I mean that'll kind of free some space up with him, and I mean even though I'm going to uh, get a house and a new house after I sell mine and finally get like an actual usable shop, I probably will do in a video, maybe Monday or something. Whatever my next video is, I'll show you guys um, the garage in my old house that I used to work on stuff out of, and just show you exactly how small it was. That Blue 240 literally barely fit in it. So I mean that's what I had to work with for years, and then me and Trevor got the shop and stuff like that. So it would be really nice to just kind of have my own space to uh, work on projects and not have to literally. I mean, then I could just kind of like the Supra. Like Trevor has a spot for the Supra. I'd like to have a spot for the Z and the Blue 240 and stuff like that, just so I can actively like work on them without actually having to move them around. I mean, like literally the Z, I like moving it around and moving cars around is just kind of getting tiring. I just want to have like my own spot. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but when you have your own like spot, it's so much different than um, using other people's stuff. And I'm really glad that I have a good friend like Trevor. I mean, we do help each other out a lot, but he is like letting me use his stuff, and I do appreciate that. So I mean, it's just I just can't wait. It's gonna be so cool once this whole. I mean, you guys wouldn't believe how stressed out I am about this whole like house situation and getting it sold and trying to find a new one or building a new one or something like that. It's just it's just I'd rather just do like car stuff, and I love like just doing car stuff and building cars, and if I could dedicate more time to that, stuff would get done a lot quicker than it is. So kind of understand what's happening and that I can't just always do car stuff. So somebody said build the S chassis and they would come. They will come. The issue with like I feel like the issue with the S13 is that so many people have done S13s, and they're kind of there's not very many nice ones out there. I'll give it that, but there's a lot of haggard ones. But the whole thing about like S13s is they're I mean I had the Sylvia front on it so long ago, but now like so many people have done Sylvia fronts. I mean it's like a clean S13 coupe is almost nothing new. Like nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, like look at that clean S13 coupe. I just feel like the S13 coupe with a 2J is just like kind of a basic car almost. Full interior. Oh, whoops. Are you talking about full interior on the Z or on the S13? I'm just let me know. So somebody thought I was Trevor's brother. That's funny. Somebody said I should do a step by step guide. Just kind of clarify a step to on what. So originally, so this lift, somebody said a second lift would help. So this lift used to be my lift before I went to Minnesota. Um, my dad did some crazy stuff when I was gone, so he worked out a deal with Trevor. Trevor got this lift. Over by where the Supra was at, I had another lift. Um, I'm not exactly sure what my dad was doing, but he literally like gave or the guy like took the other lift. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I was in Minnesota. I really didn't have time or I didn't want to come back to at the time I didn't want to come back because I had so much going on with starting a new job and being in like a new city and trying to find like a place to live because literally when I went to Minnesota, I I literally drove up there with my Volvo and like a suitcase and was like, well, I'll just find somewhere to live. And I did, but I mean, it was kind of, there wasn't enough time. So like the other lift kind of just disappeared. I didn't like get any money out of it. I don't know what happened to it. I was supposed to like have it. It was supposed to be stuck in my semi trailer. That's why I bought the semi trailer. But obviously it wasn't. I don't know what happened to it. But long story short, there used to be two lifts, but now there's only one. So yeah, like I said before, somebody asked if I was taking this lift. No, this is now Trevor's. He worked out a deal with my dad a long time ago. Somebody said I should take the VQ and put in the Z. I really don't want to put a V6 in the Z. There's so much room in the engine bay. It just looks weird. And even with the like a RB26 or a JZ, the Z just has like a huge engine bay. Somebody asked if I was going to have the strut towers pulled on the S13. Um, I don't want to have them pulled. I'm probably just going to get a half cut of a like clean front S13 that's wrecked in the rear. Once I find one, and then I will just replace all the damaged material and go from there. Isn't like building an engine transmission? Yeah, I think when I put the RB back together, I'll probably do kind of like a build. It won't be really a guide, but it'll be kind of like the diff build where hopefully my camera doesn't die this time or I don't lose like half the footage. But I mean, it'll be kind of like me assembling it. I need to put new freeze plugs in it first. Oh, actually, I need to like paint it gloss black, put new freeze plugs in it, and uh, and stuff like that. But a V10 in the Z. The funny thing, when I was in Minnesota, I almost picked up a Viper V10 with a 6 speed. So yeah, I mean, I think I pretty much beat the Z with the death. I don't know if there's any much more I could talk about on it. I mean, you guys kind of know where I want to go with it. I want to do the RB30. I have an R34 RB26 head. I have a 370Z CD09 with 25,000 miles on it, and I want to do an R200 diff. I don't have coilovers yet, but I want to put coilovers on it. I want to do my custom designed front and rear subframe and 18 by either 10 to 12 inch wide wheels. We'll figure that out. Most likely it's going to be, the norm. It's going to be blue, but it'll be that Toyota, that candy blue. So hopefully that kind of makes it look a lot better. I have 4-inch fender flares all the way around, and I don't know. And I actually designed a radiator that fits in here really well. And that's one thing I didn't talk about. I need to talk to some radiator manufacturers to make it. It's designed in SolidWorks, but I need to do that. I also have an intercooler design, so I might have them do both of them at the same time. But it's not really worth doing that until the engine's done. So, and in there and running and stuff like that. One other thing that I haven't mentioned was I am really a fan of compressed natural gas, and the LS240 is going to be compressed natural gas, and this I'm not exactly sure yet, but I may end up running this off compressed natural gas. It just kind of depends, because I don't want to cut the any of this, like this tire well up or any of that stuff. I'm trying to cut this car up as little as possible, just because of the rarity, and they're actually pretty rare. A lot of people have kind of done crazy stuff with them, and there's not very many clean ones left. I mean, it won't be like a cream puff stock one. I can't really come around to like just restoring a car 100% and just having like a L24 in it and 4-speed and it being slow and stuff like that. But I want to minimize destroying it as much as possible, even though I'm going to put fender flares on it and have it like pretty much all like crazy suspension and stuff like that. But I don't want to go crazy and like cut out like the back tire, the spare tire area, and I don't know. I just don't want to go too crazy with it, just because of the rarity and stuff like that. Propane. I don't want to do propane. So CNG, I don't want to do propane, but the reason I like CNG is because when I was an engineer at Cummins, I was ESB, which is Energy Solutions Business, and I did digester and CNG, like generators. So I really am fond of CNG. It really is nice because burns really it burns really well, and it cools the cylinders, and also there's no like issue with it sloshing. So CNG is like supposed to be like around 160 octane, but it's kind of like not like the same rating, because it's not an actual like fuel, like it's not like gas, like pump gas. So, and it burns like really soft, so there's less chances of it detonating or hurting your engine, and it's gas, so you don't have to worry about it like literally like doesn't have to ionize, because it like directly mixes with the air. Do I need a kit free? A kit for what? Need a custom cell built. They make like 16-gallon equivalent CNG tanks out of carbon fiber. So, I mean, if I could get something or a few of them that would fit without like that would actually tuck up kind of where the gas tank went, that wouldn't be bad. Hmm. Oh, somebody asked about. Oh, so I don't really need a kit. Really all I need is a CNG tank for the Z and the S13 because I was working with a company. I'm kind of still working with the company. I mean, they're really cool. They are really good at what they do. It's a company in Canada. It's called Blackstone CNG. They literally sent me a regulator. I mean, it's actually the only company that's really sent me anything so far. But they sent me a regulator. It's supposedly good up to uh, it should be good up to 1,000 horsepower. It at 125 psi. The I have some Bosch 2250 cc injectors, but at 125 psi rail pressure, they bump up to almost 5,000 psi. So, I mean, or not 5,000 psi, sorry, but 5,000 cc's. So I could literally run like probably a little bit over 1,000 horsepower on those injectors and still probably have more injector without like running out. So the regulator, I probably need to pull it out and I'll show it to you guys in a video. But that one is for the LS1. Once I get that thing done and running and stuff like that, the title issue, I will see if they'll send me another one or I'll buy another one for the RB. I just like the fact that CNG doesn't actually slosh. So like Trevor's Datsun with the SR in it, he needs to put like a swirl pot in it. Not a swirl pot, but is it a swirl pot? No, a surge tank for the fuel because the old Datsun fuel tanks don't have any baffling in them. And every time he rips on it, all the gas sloshes the back and it starves it. So the great thing about CNG, you could pretty much flip the car over and or like go crazy angles, whichever way you want, and it always has like 100 or like 30 psi or whatever it is. No, it's 3,000 psi. It always has like around 3,000 psi, and then your regulator bumps it down to like 125 psi or something like that, and so then you don't have to worry about sloshing. I know I'm just rambling about stuff that you guys probably don't even care about, but that's something else that's gonna be going on this car. So I mean, I think that's pretty much it for the Z, and you guys will be seeing a little bit more of this car in the videos to come. Maybe not right away, but I mean, in future videos, you'll be seeing this car being worked on, stuff being actively done to it, as well as the blue coupe, which you know what's going to happen with that. It's going to get a nice beefy 2J with a EFR on it. Hopefully, I can make around 500 horsepower or more in it, and CD09, CD09, and stuff. So I have some projects: the Audi project, Z project, S13 project, and the other S13 project that most of you that have been watching the channel, you've probably seen a glimpse of it a couple times, and the VR4 project. So I have a few projects. Hopefully you guys like it. I am glad. Oh, thanks for the $5, man. And I'm glad everybody's liking the content, and thanks for watching. But I think I'm going to end this live stream. I hope that the old 240 coupe's going to be on the streets soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you're watching, and comment in this video. The great thing about the new update with YouTube is all these comments that you guys have posted are supposedly supposed to go in the comments once the video uploads, so people won't be like, whoa, what was this guy talking about? Because answering questions and comments and stuff kind of looks weird when there's no comments below. But See you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and kind of being homies. And see you guys later.